Hey everybody, I want to talk about connecting your Game Maker Studio project with GitHub and the first steps to getting started. The first thing you're going to want to do is have an account on GitHub and be able to remember your username and password. You're going to need to get connected to that. You're also going to need the software called Git. If you happen to have a PC, then you'll need to install it. You might already have it if you have a Mac or a Linux machine. A lot of times they come with it. You just want to double check to make sure you have it. Once you install it, what you're going to want to do is create, say, a Game Maker project. And by the way, I'm going to use what's called git bash to do everything and walk you through the git commands and getting started. The first thing you're going to want to do is either take an existing project you've created or start new. I'm going to start new. But what I'm going to show you would work if you already have a project you've begun but just haven't put on GitHub. And the idea here is you're going to track all of your progress of your project on GitHub, and you'll have a copy of it there that you can put onto other computers. You can share with other people. Other people could actually contribute to your project. And so I'm going to do a Game Maker language version of the Breakout program. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on Game Maker language. I'm going to create it, making sure I track where I'm putting this. And wherever you do, just remember where you put it. I'm going to go ahead and call it Breakout, and then I'm going to put GML. So it's Game Maker language, so you know. All right, so now I have my project. And when you create a project, you're going to have files. And so let me go ahead and open those. So here we go. There's the Game Maker Studio folder. There's my new folder called Breakout GML. Now I'm going to show you how you have 3 folders in one file. And so we're going to do Git using this. But the first thing we want to do is go to GitHub. Oh, that is not where I'm heading. That's my music. And we want to go over to GitHub, and let's do that right here. And we're going to create a new repository. There is the plus sign here to create new repository. You do it that way. Sometimes if you're on the home page, let's just go to the home page, you'll see your username over here, a bunch of files, and the new button. So we're going to type Breakout. Now, if you already have a file, already have a repository, so I've already created one as I was doing a demo for my class, I can't use the same name. But I am going to call it Breakout GML, so this is different because it's using Game Maker language. So you do want to make sure you haven't already created a project on GitHub with the same name. And then the most important step here is if you already have files that you're going to connect to this repository, you need to skip anything here that would add a file. You don't want to do that. You just want to give it a name and then just hit Create Repository. Anything else you can add later. But if you get this window here that you see Quick Setup or Create New Repository on the command line or Push an Existing, this is what you want to see. In fact, these are the commands we're going to use to get started. So you're going to click on here to copy those commands, and then I'll walk you through them one step at a time. Since we have it on the window, I'm going to just zoom in on here. We're going to walk you through the commands. The echo is like a print statement, and whatever's in the quotation marks, it's going to take that and put it into a file and name that file readme.md. And then git init is, the rest of these commands all begin with the word git, and these are all commands that that Git is able to do. This is why you have to install Git. Okay. So we can do this one at a time. I'm just going to grab this, and I'm just going to walk you through one at a time. But if you want, you can click on this little icon here, and then you can just paste it into git bash and run it. Git bash is the command prompt that you use for Git. You just open your folder here, and you right-click and use git bash here. Now this is for a PC. If you have a Mac, you can just open up the terminal, and through the terminal, find it and run these same commands in there. Okay, but this is git bash, and I'm going to right click and paste that first command, echo, and I want to show you what happens. I'm going to just move this down a little bit. I want you to look at the folder when I hit enter. There it is, it appears. So Git creates, it actually used it to create that README file. And if you open it up and you double click it, it'll have this hashtag breakout. All right, so we just followed the first command. We created a file, and it has the contents that's in the quotes. Now we're going to do this thing called git init. Git init tells Git that we are going to track this project. So I right click and I paste it in, Git init, and when I hit enter, immediately it talks about how it initialized an empty Git repository. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the next two commands are a very common command. And this is what's called staging. Also, the keyword is add. Anytime you want to choose a file that you're going to track on GitHub, you add it. So that's selecting the file or files. The next one is attaching a commit message. And we're going to say we're going to commit ourselves to this change. All right, so we're going to attach all the files we added or staged with this little comment here that just tells us what it is. And this is just telling us it's the first commit. So I'm going to go ahead and run these two commands. And then I'll show you can run two at a time. And so remember, git add is staging. You'll hear a lot of people talk about it staging. By the way, in git bash on a PC, there is no control V. You have to do shift insert. And it gives you a warning. You can ignore the warning. And then you have this git commit -m first commit. And now if I hit git log, you don't have to do this, but it will tell you a list of all your commits. And it will tell you who authored the commit, their email, and all that good stuff. All right, and the name and the message you gave. So all that stuff is in there. All right, the next thing we're going to do is right now, by default, the branch, they used to always call the main branch master. And in this day and age, that has a lot of bad connotations. So we're going to, oops, not that. We're going to copy this here. I'm going to change it to just be main because it's going to be our main branch. And I'm going to backtrack that. Oh, I got to just backspace it. And then we're going to right click and paste it in. It's not letting me. Copy. Backspace. Right click, paste. Git branch -m main. Now it says main because it's our main branch. And now this is going to connect the folder to this online repository. So I'm going to right click and paste that in. We are now connected, and git push is how you send your changes. So I'm going to copy that and we're going to put that in and hit enter. Now, had I just copied all that and pasted it in, it would have just done all of them, and it would have waited on the last command, and once I hit enter, it would do what you see here. Whenever you see this enumerating, counting, writing, total, blah, 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 all this stuff just is success. Okay, that means you got it. Now, this is the last time you'll get to see these commands, and except for when you watch or rewatch the video or do create a new one. But watch what happens when I hit refresh. We have the README file. And notice when I put the hashtag in front of the word breakout -gml, it made it like a header, heading level 1, nice and big. So that's cool. And now we're going to go back here. And now what we want to do is we want to take the rest of our objects. I'm going to just type in ls, which lists this out. So there's the breakout file, data files, options, readme, rooms. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type git status. This is a good thing to do when you're not sure what's up. Anything that's red has not been tracked. It hasn't been staged. It hasn't been committed. So now we're going to do, we're going to add all the items in the folder, everything remaining. And it's git add star, the asterisk. That just adds everything. Now I'm going to type git status, and you're going to see all the files that we just tracked. Git only tracks the files themselves. If you have an empty folder, it ignores empty folders. But if it has a file in the folder, then it's tracking the folder and the files, or even folders within it. So you can see there's all these extra files that now are getting tracked. Okay, so these all been added, but if I hit refresh over here, nothing happens here. And if I were to type git log, you'd still see just that one commit. We need to take what we staged, all the green, and turn that into a commit. So we type git commit -m. I'm just going to write on here, adding initial files. So the idea here is it's git add, git commit, git push. Git add stages, git commit commits it, and basically preserves this moment in time of my project. And then you usually put in the quotes an active verb like adding, modifying, editing, removing, deleting, whatever. fixing usually, and then whatever. Okay, you want to do commits on an ongoing basis. And now what I'm going to do is send my changes. So if I hit refresh, still nothing. So now I have to push these changes, and I'm going to do the get log so you can see that now there are 2 commits, right? And now we're going to push all of that onto the online repo, and it's git push origin main. The 3 commands that I just told you, you just do these over and over and over again. Now I'm going to hit refresh, and right away, you now see the options, the rooms, the breakout file, the README. I can click on here. I see that there are 2 commits. If I click it, it shows the different commits. If I click on this, it'll show me what got changed. Pluses mean it was added. Minus and red would mean it was subtracted, but all we did were add files, so everything's green. So there you have it. And I'm going to go back a link, and we're going to make one quick change, and then I'm going to push those changes through so you can see the process all over again. So I'm going to open up Game Maker. I'm going to add my first sprite. Okay, I went ahead and created a sprite. Just I want to make a change, and I saved my changes. Okay. Like I said, I think a git status is always a good thing to do. I do this at the beginning of work, especially if I haven't been on a project in a little while, because I want to know what's got changed and what do we need to, do we need to add anything? So you can already see there's a couple files got modified in a new folder. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the standard method. You write some code, you test it out, and if things are not broken and you've made a new change that works, it's a good time to commit it and push it. So to commit and push, it is 3 commands. It is git add star, git commit -m. Notice the spacing in between, 2 M's, 1 T. You need to learn how to spell commit. You need to commit yourself to learning how to spell commit, and then adding first sprite. Keep your commit messages pretty short. Sometimes you might add more information because there's more to talk about. And then finally we push it through git push origin main. 3 commands, git add star, git commit -m, message in quotes, and git push origin main over again. You just do this all the time as you are working through your project. On a later tutorial, I'll probably cover other concepts like how do you get a project like this onto your own computer? How do you work between different computers? How do you collaborate with other people? As we get to those, I'll post more videos. So stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching.